All right, folks. So I want to wrap you a little bit. I am just feeling, man. I'm just feeling like I'm cooking. I feel like that last little session there was dope. So now I'm feeding into Instagram Live here, and I'm talking to you here, and we're just going to continue on in that vein and see what happens. This is nice. This is very, very nice. Very exciting. So, uh, so wrap a little bit more about I think I basically covered tribalism pretty well. um, I did want to touch a little bit just on the utter insanity of tribal war, um, and the lies that are involved in that. So and I sort of did, but I do want to extrapolate a bit more on that. So in tribal war, the lies, first of all, of finally starting a war. So the lies that breed the resentment, right? I talked about Bob and Joe, I think were the names I gave them, of, this whole fucking family feud that eventually starts when, the belief is, oh, well, Bob raped Joe's wife and fucking Joe held Bob as a slave or whatever the fuck it was I said, when the original argument was about an apple falling onto someone else's lawn. And I very intentionally use that example because that's actually a very, very classic, one of the first laws of property rights. But anyways, um, so on the lies of tribalism and tribal war. Um, so tribal war, what tribal war is just the utter massacring uh, between two tribes. One tribe is just utterly massacring the other, and the other naturally fights back. And it's all based on utter lies and nonsense. But the tribalist is not able to see that. Oh wait, that was it. So the biggest sin of tribalism. So besides tribalism, tribalists, they live in the wrong truth. They live in the wrong time, and shit, there was a third one there. I forgot what it was. I was working on this for a while, but tribalists, they live in the wrong time. What I mean by that is at any given time, they're just not here in the present. They'll be anywhere from 50 years ago to 1 to 200 years ago. So a great example of that is the BLM, and this is how the regressive left pits people into tribes. The two main tribes that the regressive left pits people into, and then they further subdivide, subdivide, and subdivide. But the two main tribes in leftist thought are oppressors and oppressed. Now, that's sort of the same as people who wish to be free versus people who wish to have power, except it's not entirely, because so people who wish to be free, the difference between people who view themselves as oppressed versus people who view themselves as free people and just wanting more and more freedom. People who wrap themselves in these trauma blankets every day and put on these backpacks full of cinder blocks of oppression every day. Those are the oppressed people. And nothing you say, and this is where that thread of humor comes in, nothing you say to them is funny. They have no sense of humor, no sense of sarcasm, irony, satire, nothing. They're just basically dead inside. In other words, they're just really, really shitty people. They're just really, really shitty people to be around. Um, I was reading this fucking article on The Atlantic. I know I contributed to their click, count. I always feel like I need a shower when I do that. But again, in the interest of reading from both stacks of newspapers, as it were, I decided to look at this. And it was this whole thing on Keck and Kekistan and Pepe the Frog. And it was very clear that whoever wrote this article was never hugged as a child, and is the type of person who, I might have mentioned it on this channel, or I think it was my Instagram, but um, a few nights ago there was this woman just giving it to this mother in front of her kids on the train, and it's just like, wow, you have no sense of decency. So a tribalist is someone who would just yell at a fucking kid, or yell at a mother in front of her kids, has no sense of joy about them, was never hugged as a child, just a really fucking miserable sack of shit human being. And so they hate themselves, they hate everyone and everything around them, because everyone and everything around them is a tool of their oppression, and they are oppressed and they can never be free. That's the main difference between those who view themselves as people, free people, just yearning for more freedom or yearning to not have their freedoms taken away, versus people who view themselves as oppressed. People who view themselves as oppressed are perpetually oppressed. They are always oppressed. They will always be oppressed, and everything that is going on in their lives is a direct result of the circumstances of their oppression, and they are not to blame at all for any of their circumstances ever. There's no personal responsibility ever. It's the view of the addict versus the recovering addict, if you like. I was talking about this with a very, very dear friend of mine the other day. Um, ultimately, while the biological processes of addiction are just that, biological processes, ultimately, we are the ones who make the choice to swallow the liquor. We are the ones who make the choice to inhale the tobacco or marijuana smoke. We are the ones who make the choice, and in this case, it's definitely a a much farther amount of effort, at least from what I've seen, where they fucking tie their arm with a needle and shoot themselves up with heroin. They're the ones who are in control of the needle, ultimately. Now, again, there are biological processes there, so I'm not taking that away, but ultimately, the ultimate responsibility is on the individual. Now, those who view themselves as perpetually oppressed don't really see that there's responsibility that they can ever have that can change their circumstances anyways. So anyways, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So this article, exposing Kek and Kekistan and Pepe. This person has no sense of humor. They were talking about the whole Kekistan thing as if it's an actual religion that people actually follow. And look, I'm sure that there might be some crazy lunatic out there who is convinced in his heart of hearts that there is a place called Kekistan, but that person is mentally ill and probably in an institution, or needs to be, and needs to take his medication. Um, so, but it's like, so again, us versus them. They lump everyone who posts frog memes on Instagram as a fucking believer in Kekistan. And it's like, no, no, no. I'm sorry, but those frog memes are fucking hilarious. It's a frog that you're giving human qualities to. That's hysterical to me. Just like I said, gorilla masks are hysterical to me. That's my taste. It's not inherently funny, because once again, nothing is inherently funny, just like nothing is inherently sad. If you don't value life, then death means nothing. And I mean, we already talked about that, so I won't get too into that. But so shit word. Oh yeah. So the big sin of tribalism. That's where I was going before I got sidetracked on the other article. So the big sin, one of the biggest sins of tribalism, is they live in the wrong time. So with these trauma blankets, these cinder blocks of oppression, they see no difference between 2017, when we had a black man running the country for 8 years, as well as people with black skin in highest positions of government. They see no difference between 2017 and 1817. There's no distinction to them, because, well, they just changed slavery from chains to the fucking prison system and the school pipeline. And the problem is, when you go to argue, that, in first of all, in any sense of the word, you can say, I mean, yeah, you're right. I agree that there are still forms of, imprisonment and power over other people, but you're just wrong on the fundamental thing that's like solely constructed for black people. They'll automatically call you a racist. They don't fucking care. They're immune to facts. So we need to get this penicillin of truth in them. That's really, really, really fucking hard to, because they just don't want to fucking hear it. Now, um, And that's another sign, by the way, of if you're a tribalist or not, is if you're able to, when people say stupid shit like that, if you just dismiss them outright, or if you actually want to engage and talk to them. Now, granted, when you try to talk to them, if they're not able to talk to you, they just want to fucking call you a racist, then you have to walk away for your own sanity. That's the proper way to handle a tribalist, by the way. Just walk away. Just be like, wow, you're very hurt. I'm very sorry. And I'm trying to talk to you, but you're not able to talk to me. You're just calling me names, so I'm going to have to leave now. Bye. That's how you handle a tribalist. So yeah, so there's no distinction. So they live in the wrong time. They live in the wrong truth. And if you'll allow me to use that doublespeak phraseology. And what that means is they live in the wrong truth. So what that means, and this is all, again, there's nothing, that stands alone. Everything is connected. Nothing is in a vacuum. So all of this does connect. And I will wrap this into a discussion of humor, and I'll probably, at that point, split it into another video. We're just really cooking here tonight. I'm really digging this. So wrong truth, if you'll allow me to use that doublespeak phraseology. What that means, wrong truth, is that their perception of reality is so skewed that they will not see things as they are. And whenever I say see things as they are, I always go back to the Seinfeld thing. Do you see things as they are? Thumbs up if you remember that. But anyways, so what I mean by see things as they are is, and again, this is all going to blend together here. So bear with me. So they don't see things as they are. So they see a white person, punching a black person in the face. They automatically go to, well, the white person is punching the black person because they hate the black person because they're black. And it's like, no. Why is that the first assumption you make? If I see someone punching someone, regardless of their skin color, the first assumption I make is, wow, someone must have done something to someone to really piss someone off. So if the first assumption you make is, well, they must hate them because of their skin color, congratulations, you are a tribalist. Thanks for playing Are You a Tribalist? You've won today's prize. You're a tribalist. Now here is your big nose ring. Okay. So wrong truth. Sorry. So wrong time. Well, I'll break it down thusly. Wrong tribe, wrong time, wrong truth. So I've covered wrong time. This is very intentional. I've covered wrong truth, and now I'm going to cover wrong tribe. So wrong tribe. What that means is that the Iraq War is actually a great example of this. So Osama bin Laden, I guess operative, if you like, of elements within Afghanistan, orchestrates a massive terrorist attack on America, and then for various and sundry reasons, hang on. I'm sorry, I'm getting something on my phone. Okay, sorry. So for various and sundry reasons, we end up attacking who? Not Afghanistan. We end up attacking Iraq. So tribal war. Wrong again. The sins of tribalism. Wrong tribe, wrong truth, wrong time. So they live in the wrong time. They have the wrong truth, and part of both of those is they go after the wrong fucking tribe. So another great example of this is, in this case, the tribes are tribes of statues that we're going after. Or another great example, here we go. So a perfect example is the tribe of Whitey. We're all going after the tribe of Whitey, when the tribe that more commonly aligns those who enslaved blacks, held black slaves, passed segregation laws, and passes affirmative action laws and increases welfare spending are not whites, but Democrats. That's the common tribe. Again, Not that no Republican does, not that no Democrats don't, and not that there's an exclusivity between whites or Democrats on either end of this, but the tribe, the main tribe that does this are Democrats, liberals, progressives, whatever you want to call them. Again, big L liberal, because they don't, that's not what liberal actually means. So, but the tribalist goes out to the wrong tribe and attacks Whitey. I was having a conversation with a regressive tribalist once, and I said, "You're going after the wrong tribe here. This is a thing of power and a thing of the state." And she says, "Well, what color were the people running the government?" And I'm just like, "Okay, wow. Let me introduce you to Idi Amin. Let me introduce you to Pol Pot. Let me introduce you to," I can go on and on and on. So the tribalist, that's probably their biggest sin, honestly, is, yeah, well, shit, that is the biggest sin, is, and that's the fundamental of being a tribalist, and tribalism is assuming that a human trait is only associated with that one tribe. So power over others. Only fucking white people do that. That's as asinine as saying that only black people should, be riding on the back of the bus. And I did a riff on that already. Now, to connect this all, if I may, to humor and just being humorless. I already kind of started on this. So a tribalist has no sense of humor. Again, this whole Keck thing. This is hilarious. These are pictures of frogs, but this is their fucking hatred and anger that they want to attack frogs. And that goes into virtue signaling. And maybe I can rap a little bit about some of that here. But what so they go after frogs, and now they're going after statues. So this is the biggest sin of humanity right now, are statues. Hunks of marble and stone and granite and whatever the fuck else statues are made of. They gotta go. Never mind that children are being kidnapped and forced into slavery. No, never mind that in Africa, in South Africa, whites are being being systematically wiped out by the black government there. Never mind that blacks in Liberia are being, is it Liberia? Yeah, I think it's Liberia. Are being enslaved by ISIS and by the Muslims there. Again, I want to be very clear. The extremist Muslims, ISIS, that tribe of insane throwbacks. No, never mind all of that. Never mind that children are being raped and their innocence taken away from them, and people are being fucking murdered and their heads bashed in with bricks. Never mind that slavery still actually exists today. No, 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 no. It's those evil fucking statues that have to go. Those evil statues that remind us of where we were, where we've been, and where we are now, and how great we've become because of it. Except not really, because those statues are evil, so they have to go. When was the last time you heard any of these people that are out there taking down statues and shit, being fucking children? When was the last time you heard them talk about children in slavery as sex slaves, or any form of actual real slavery that's happening today? When was the last time that you heard them talk about that? Or how there's no fucking water in Africa that anyone can drink, or there's no fucking water in Flint that anyone can drink? When was the last time you heard someone talk about that? So, virtue signaling. Wrong tribe, wrong truth, wrong time. They're utterly insane, in other words, is what I'm getting at. Is what I'm getting at. Excuse me. There's no sense of humor. Nothing is funny to them. Frog posting, Nothing is funny. Nothing is funny about a clearly satirical and sarcastic mythos surrounding a fictional frog character. And I think the reason that that's not funny to them is that they are anti-religious, anti-deity, at least anti-Western religion, anti-Christian, anti-Jewish, not anti-Muslim, oddly enough. Uh, and so those are easily dismissed as mythology and just horseshit. But then everyone else's mythology is to be revered and respected. And it's like, no, no, how about we make fun of all of it? That's always been my position. Because there are funny things and inconsistencies in everything, as I said, in nature and in man. Because man is full of contradictions. Because man is shades of gray. So this whole, like, it's just a sense of humorlessness. Taking, fucking frog posts seriously. Social media noobs, as they would say on the interwebs. So, yeah, no sense of humor. You know what? Maybe I'll go into that in another video. I think I've basically covered that as much as I would like to. Right now, my ass needs to go to sleep. Hit me up on Patreon if you think I am humorous. It is patreon.com/Frank Del, Dean of Satire and Mimicry. Yes, I'm working on a Patreon as well. I've also signed up for Gavin Minds, so as I'm able, I will relay that information out. Anyway, that's all for now. Hope you found this entertaining, enlightening, enthralling. Let me know. Comment. Let's have a discussion. I want to hear from you. I want to talk to you. I want to know what you think about things. I want to know if you appreciate my videos and my life. Yeah. So until next time, speak, listen, understand.